Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain about mitosis and meiosis with a special regulation of the cell cycle and role of MPF in the mitosis and meiosis. See, the mitosis and meiosis, that's a part of M phase, but the process is actually started in the S phase only. In the S phase, there are two type of proteins formed. One is called condensin, other is called cohesin protein. As we know that once cell will be enter into S phase, DNA synthesis occurs. It means one being DNA becomes 2 DNA occurs in the S phase, but as we know that both the DNA are present in the same chromosome. In this case, we can say here in the S phase that one chromosome equal to 2 DNA. But this 2 DNA will be joined to each other by a protein known as cohesin protein. This cohesin protein is responsible for the cohesion of this 2 DNA within the chromosome, which I am showing here in with the red color. Other protein are also formed here known as condensin protein. But this condensin protein is working in case of mitosis division. So just remember these two protein are playing important role. Cohesin protein which is activated in the S phase and they are responsible for the joining of these two DNA. Then one more important aspect is centrosomal cycle. This centrosome becomes double in the S phase. It means in S phase only not DNA is going to be replicated but also centrosome is going to be duplicated. After the duplication of centrosome, now this centrosome will be remain as such present, and during M phase these two will be actually moving towards opposite pole and they are responsible for the cell division. So these two phases are associated with the S phase, but they are playing very important role in the mitosis as well as meiosis. And third, you know very well that for mitosis and meiosis, DNA replication must be required. So there are three important phenomena that is related to the mitosis or meiosis. Number one, replication of DNA so that the DNA quantity will be double. Second is cohesin protein which are joining this to DNA, and third is centrosomal cycle, that is the duplication of centrosome. Now let's start with the mitosis. Mitosis is simply it's a equation cell division in which one cell becomes two, and it occurs in all the somatic cells. This mitosis is basically divided into prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, which are overall considered as karyokinesis process and then cytokinesis. In short, we can say that mitosis occurs in two phases. One is called karyokinesis, other is called cytokinesis. Karyokinesis belongs to prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. In some book, you may observe prometaphase. The same prophase is the longest phase, and the late prophase is also known as prometaphase or late prophase in certain books. So let us start one by one. At first, in the initial diagram, I'm just showing here that in the interphase only, the process of DNA replication is going to start it. So in interphase, it is showing that the centrosome becomes double, DNA is also duplicated, and they are joined to each other with the cohesin protein. Now, once cell will be entered into the mitosis process, in the prophase, this centrosome is moving towards opposite pole. This chromosome is going to be condensed with the help of condensin protein, and then in the case of prometaphase, that is end of the prophase, this is almost condensed, still condensation is going on, and this spindle fiber which is originate from centrosome, they are going to join with the kinetochore protein. Kinetochore protein is a separate protein which join to the centromere portion of the chromosome, and this kinetochore is actually, this is the specific protein. This kinetochore will be joined with the spindle fiber, and finally the pro metaphase, or you can say the prophase late prophase, is going to be ended. It will lead to the next phase, that is known as metaphase, where all the chromosomes are aligned at the equator. And here spindle fiber checkpoint is working, and this spindle fiber checkpoint is checking that whether they are entering into the exactly same plane or metaphasic plane or not. If yes, then it will move towards anaphase. Then in anaphase, this chromatid is going to be separated, and it will be followed by the telophase, where the initiation of cytokinesis is going to begin, as well as telophase is just reverse of the prophase. Here, whatever the phenomenon occurs in the prophase, the reverse phenomenon occurs, and then finally cytokinesis. In detail, you can see in prophase there are certain important process. Number one, chromosome condensation or chromatin condensation. This chromatin is going to be condensed with the help of condensin protein, and after the condensation of the chromosome, it becomes a thick diode like structure. Exactly at the same time, nuclear envelope is going to be degraded, or you can say it's open. Nucleolus is going to be degraded. Centriole is moving towards the opposite pole, and this replicated chromosome attached to the spindle fiber at the end of the kinetochore fiber. But these things you have studied in early class also. But here I want to add the role of MPF in the metaphase. See, MPF play very important role. Number one, MPF, which we have seen in the last previous video, that MPF, which is also known as CDK1 and cyclin B, they are responsible for the phosphorylation. Phosphorylation are of two types. One is active phosphorylation, second is inhibitory phosphorylation. Here, this MPF is responsible for the active phosphorylation in as the first role. They are responsible for the phosphorylation of condensin protein. Now condensin protein is activated, and they are responsible for the condensation of chromosome. Second thing is envelope, nuclear envelope breakdown. MPF play here very important role in the degradation or breakdown of nuclear envelope. In the nuclear envelope, there is a protein known as lamine protein. This lamine protein is also phosphorylated by MPF, but this is inhibitory phosphorylation. Due to this inhibitory phosphorylation, lamine protein is degraded, and first phosphorylation phosphorylated and degraded, and hence nuclear envelope is going to be degraded. Third is phosphorylation of GM130 protein by MPF, but this GM130 protein is a part of Golgi body as well as endoplasmic reticulum. As you know, they are made up of same material, and one common material between them is GM130. This GM130 is phosphorylated, and this is also inhibitory phosphorylation, and hence due to this inhibitory phosphorylation, Golgi body and endoplasmic reticulum both are going to be fragmented. And the last one is microtubule instability. Remember, this microtubule should be first instabilized, that is destabilized, and it will be followed by the stabilization. So initially it becomes destabilized, and then it becomes stabilized, and formation of spindle fiber occurs. So MPF is responsible for the instability of microtubule. Later on it will be followed by the spindle fiber formation. So these 4 or 5 different phenomena is very important for the karyokinesis process. And as we have seen in the previous slides also, due to this chromosomal condensation, then nuclear envelope breakdown in breakdown of Golgi body, as well as spindle fiber formation, prophase is going to be occurs. Now next is metaphase. In case of metaphase, all the chromosomes are going to align at the equatorial plate or metaphasic plate, and here checkpoints are working. Once it will be aligned, the role of metaphase will be over. But you should remember, in this alignment, basically this chromosome is nothing. This chromosome is made up of two chromatid. You should remember here the terminology. Remember, usually one chromosome equal to one DNA, usually in the G1 phase, in fact. But once there is a replication occurs in the S phase, now one chromosome is made up of two DNA. In the G2 also, one chromosome is made up of two DNA. In the M phase, one chromosome is made up of two DNA, but now since it is condensed, this two DNA is individually known as chromatid. So we can simply say here that one chromosome is made up of two chromatid, and in this chromatid only there is a centromeric portion where kinetochore protein will join, and this spindle fiber is going to join with the kinetochore protein only. There are different type of spindle fiber. There are three type of spindle fiber. One is Astor-A, second is polar spindle fiber, which is free and not joining to anyone, and third is kinetochore spindle fiber, which join to the kinetochore region of the chromatid. After the joining, when they will reach to the equatorial plate, or we can say the metaphasic plate, and it will align properly, then the role of checkpoint protein will be over, and then cell will move towards anaphase. But here one important aspect occurs, and this aspect is anaphase promoting complex. In the metaphase, when everything is aligned, then there is no more role of this MPF occurs. There is no more role. So MPF must be degraded here. The question is why MPF should be degraded. The reason is the role of MPF is limited to the prophase and metaphase. In the anaphase, as such, there is no role of MPF, and in the telophase, everything is going to be reverse. It means nuclear membrane should be reformed, Golgi body food should be reformed, and when MPF will be present, it is not going to be reformed. So at this point only, this MPF should be degraded, and the best way to degrade MPF is degradation of cyclin B. As I already explained, that MPF is made up of CDK1 and cyclin B, and hence we can directly say that once the cyclin B is degraded, it means CDK1 is going to be inactivated. Here, this cyclin B is going to be degraded. But there is a complex form for the degradation of cyclin B. This is called anaphase promoting complex. But remember, one important aspect occurs here before degradation of cyclin B, and that I am going to explain here. See, in anaphase promoting complex, there are two different aspects. Number one, before degradation of MPF, the cohesin protein must be degraded. Remember cohesin protein. Cohesin protein is a protein which is binded with the 2 DNA, or here we can say which is binded with the 2 chromatid. So both the chromatid or the DNA, it was binded in S phase, still binded in the G2 phase as well as in M phase, but separation of chromatid must require the separation of this cohesin protein. So, in the cohesin protein, there is a protein known as SCC1. It's a part of cohesin protein. This SCC1 should be degraded first so that cohesin will be deactivated, and after deactivation of cohesin only, the chromosome is going to be separated. So, remember, at the end of the metaphase, two important aspect occurs. These all aspects are related to the anaphase promoting complex. Number one, degradation of cohesin protein, and later on degradation of cyclin. For the degradation of cohesin protein, again cyclin B is playing very important role. They are responsible for the phosphorylation of SCC1. Once SCC1, which is a part of cohesin protein, is degraded, then sister chromatid is separated. The role of cyclin B is over till now. Now no more cyclin B or MPF is required. Hence, cyclin B is going to be inactivated or degraded with the help of self-degradation mechanism that I am going to explain in few next second only. So here up to this point, MPF is playing important role. Later on, cyclin B is degraded. How this cyclin B degradation occurs? Remember, cyclin B and CDK, it is joined to each other, that is called MPF. For that self-degradation of cyclin B, they call ubiquitin. Ubiquitin is a marker protein. They bind to the cyclin B only, and after that proteasome is going to bind. Or remember, there is a complex formation occurs. Ubiquitin, certain accessory proteins, everything is making complex, that is known as anaphase promoting complex, APC. Now this proteasome will also bind to this section, and proteasome will specifically going to degrade only those protein where ubiquitin is marked. So as you have seen in this diagram, ubiquitin is marking or attached to only cyclin B, hence proteasome will degrade only ubiquitin. After degradation of ubiquitin, CDK will be alone and it is non-functional. Hence, MPF is inactivated. Next one is anaphase. After MPF activity, now cell move from metaphase to anaphase. After anaphase reaching to the anaphase, now both the chromatid is going to be separated due to this pulling force of this spindle fiber, and they are going to travel to their opposite end, their own respective poles. And once we reach to the telophase is just reverse of prophase. It means again nuclear membrane is going to be formed, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, everything is going to be formed, and hence we are saying it is just reverse of prophase. And this all I'm showing here. The last one is cytokinesis. It means karyokinesis process is over. Karyokinesis, after the karyokinesis, now two nucleus form. Nucleus is fully ready. And now there is a time for the separation of cell. These two nucleus are having equidistance from each other, and there is a time of the cell division. In case of plants, cell plate is formed, whereas in case of animal, cell furrow is formed, and due to this cell furrow and cell plate only cytokinesis occurs. See one by one. If I am showing about the animal cells, here cell furrow is going to be formed and actin is playing very important role. This actin is going to bind to the center and they are tightening. Due to this tightening of the actin molecule, cell furrow will be observed. The size of the cell furrow is going to be decreased, and finally grooves will be formed, and finally they are going to be separated. So actin is playing very important role in cell division process in case of animal. If I am talking regarding the plant cell, in plant cell, Golgi body is deriving certain initiative material, and these initial materials are making cell plate. Now, this cell plate is the base material. The cell plate is converted into primary cell wall followed by secondary cell wall, and now two cells are separated in case of plant cell. So simply we can say that Golgi body derived cell plate is playing important role in the separation of plant cell, whereas actin derived cell furrow is playing important role in the cell division process in case of animal cell. Like in the same way, meiosis we are going to study. Before that, we are going to revise a little bit. See, when mitosis will be over, cell will be entered into G1 phase. You can see CDK cyclin formation. When growth factor is over, nutritional status will be over, size of the cell is achieved, then cell will be able to cross from G1 phase and enter into S, but they have to cross the checkpoints. If DNA is intact, they can cross the checkpoint, cross S, then G2, and then they reach to G2M checkpoint, where replication and DNA integrity must be checked. If everything is checked, then this MPF will be activated and they are playing very important role in the prophase and metaphase. Then MPF will be inactivated, anaphase, telophase occurs, and finally you can say that this chromosome, the mitosis is going to be over by the completion of cytokinesis process. Now come to the meiosis. See, meiosis is nothing. They are similar to the mitosis, but there are certain differences. Meiosis occurs in the two phase, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis, in case of meiosis 1, homologous pairs are separated, whereas in meiosis 2, sister chromatids are going to be separated. It results into four haploid daughter cells. So remember, meiosis 1 is different one. Here it is a reduction division, and meiosis 2 is very equivalent to the mitosis, and it is equation division. Finally, four haploid daughter cells will be formed. Meiosis occurs only in the gametic cells, and finally these four cells will be are having 23 chromosomes each. See, I think you know very well about the homologous chromosome versus sister chromatids. Homologous chromosomes are basically those chromosomes which are paired one, like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, etc. These are homologous chromosome. And sister chromatids is nothing. Within the homologous chromosome or within one chromosome itself, the pairs, the two DNA which is known as chromatid, they are called sister chromatids. So we will go through the prophase. Number one, In meiosis 1, I'll start with the meiosis 1, which is different, and you have to mainly focus on meiosis 1 only. In meiosis 1, the first phase is prophase 1, which is divided into 5 different phases: leptotin, zygotin, packaging, diplotin, and diakinesis. See, leptotin. Leptotin is the first phase of the prophase 1, where chromosome is going to be condensed, start condensation process. This condensation is equivalent to mitosis only, where condensin is playing important role. MPF is playing important role. So here again MPF came into the picture, and condensation process is going to be begin. And here again MPF is playing all the role which you have seen in the mitosis process, that is degradation of nuclear membrane, ER, Golgi body, etc. is going to occur. Then zygotin. In the zygotin, I am not going to explain the role of MPF again and again because it is similar to the mitosis, and I am mainly focused on uh, the the major process of crossing over, that is chromosomes only, and rest all the processes are exactly same which occurs in the mitosis. In the zygotin phase, basically all these homologous chromosomes are lined up, and they are come close to each other, and this is making synaptonymal complex. Then third phase is Pachytene, where crossing over occurs. Then diplotin. In the diplotin, the synaptimal complex is going to be degraded. After crossing over, there is a branch migration occurs, and genes are going to be exchanged properly here in the diplotin stage. And in the diakinesis, the chiasmata will be clearly visible, and nucleoli will be disappear. Nuclear membrane is disintegrated. It means whatever the role of MPF occurs, this all you will observe in the diakinesis, but still homologous chromosomes are still joined to each other. You can see in the short diagram here in prophase 1, there is a chiasmata formation I have shown here, and parallelly you can see this homologous chromosomes, different homologous chromosome I am showing in this diagram. The trig formation occurs and genes are exchanged. Then similarly at the same time nuclear membrane is going to be degraded, and this spindle fiber is formed. Two centromeres are separated with each other and they are moving towards opposite pole. This is the rest of the pictures are very same as you have seen in the prophase. The only thing you have to focus here is crossing over and chiasmata formation, which is a specific part of meiosis 1. Then in the case of metaphase 1, now you can see it is again aligning on the equatorial plate, but there is a difference between mitosis and meiosis 1. You can see in meiosis 1 at the metaphase 1 phase, you might have seen that here suppose number of chromosome is 6, then both the homologous chromosomes are aligned at the equator. But in case of mitosis, all the chromosomes are attached with each other in a single equatorial plane. Say for example I am showing here 6 chromosome, and you can see the 6 chromosome in case of metaphase 1 are homologous chromosome and they are attached at the equator, but homologous chromosomes are arranged. But instead of that, if I'm showing about the metaphase, here the 6 chromosome will be aligned in the same line. This is a basic difference between prophase of mitosis, metaphase of mitosis as well as metaphase 1 of meiosis 1. Now in case of metaphase 1, the whole chromosome is going to be separated, whereas in case of mitosis only chromatid is separated. Now at the end of the metaphase 1, you can see in anaphase again, from metaphase to anaphase the same formation occurs. It means MPF is playing again important role. Everything is same. In the anaphase, now chromosomes are separated. So there is a big difference between the mitosis as well as meiosis, that in anaphase 1 you can see separation of chromosome, whereas in case of mitosis you can see separation of chromatid. Now, if you will continue, then telophase 1 will be there and cytokinesis, where again cell division occurs. But here you can see the number of chromosome is reduced. Say for example, in human being there are 46 chromosome. So in the meiosis 1 only, this 23 chromosome will be separated. But you should always remember, the chromosome is separated. But still, this chromosome are having double DNA. It means two DNA. It means they have two chromatid, which can be separated further. And this separation occurs in meiosis 2. See, meiosis 2 is equivalent to mitosis. It is divided into four sectors: prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2, as well as cytokinesis. In prophase 2, again similar to the mitosis occurs, but here, say for example, if I am talking regarding human being, if I am going to start with the prophase of mitosis, it will always start with the 46 chromosome, whereas if I am asking about the meiosis 2, it will always start with 23 chromosomes. This is the only difference. And then rest all the everything is same. This is already, genes are already exchanged in the meiosis 1 only. And in this phase of only, prophase 2 will be equivalent to mitosis, then metaphase 2, you can see the chromosomes are aligned at the equator. And anaphase 2, both are separated. And telophase 2 and cytokinesis, that is cell division, cytokinesis occurs. Now you can see all the chromosomes are separated at the end of cytokinesis. So this is all I wanted to explain about the meiosis. I think you understand, and this is the completion of cell cycle as well as cell division. Thank you.